Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Farmhouse Mama. So today I am going to be freezing some extra squash that I have from my garden. We just had squash the other day, so I don't want my family to get sick of eating squash. So I'm going to go ahead and freeze some of this. So I'm just going to share with you my process. So of course, you know, once you pick one vegetable, the other ones start growing like crazy. So I have some squash that I just need to freeze really quickly. And I'm going to be doing these three right here. Now, I don't know what condition this one is in because it's been in the refrigerator for probably about a week, but we're going to go ahead and freeze that anyway. So these are the squash that I grew in my garden. Aren't they gorgeous? And these are the yellow straight neck squash. So they've already been rinsed and dried. I picked these two from the garden this morning, and I went ahead and rinsed them off. So now I'm going to be cutting the ends off of each one. I don't know, that's loud, I'm sorry. Alright, and so then I'm going to take them and cut each one of them up into like 1/4 inch slices. And then once I cut them up, we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so now that I have my squash all cut up, I'm going to transfer them into this pot of boiling water for about 2 minutes. And since I don't have that many, I figure I can just go ahead and do all these at one time. Okay, so once you get all your squash transferred over into your pot of water, you're just going to let them boil for approximately 2 minutes, and then you're going to transfer them over into a cold ice bath. And what that is going to do is that is going to stop the cooking process so that your squash isn't still cooking. And then once we get to that process, I will actually explain to you why we do that. Okay, so now my squash are in the ice bath. The ice has melted away. My ice machine don't have any more ice right now, but this is still really cold. I've checked the temperature, it's still really cold. It has about 3 more minutes in this ice bath, and then we will move on to the next process. Alright guys, so it's been about 5 minutes, so we're going to go ahead and remove these from the ice bath. Please excuse Sam. So I bet you guys, a lot of you guys are, or maybe you're not, but wondering why I'm doing this process. Why didn't I just take the, and my hands are clean, why didn't I just take the squash and cut it up and put it in the freezer? Well, as far as I understand, because like I said, I do a lot of homework and a lot of research on the things that I do to my garden and the things that I'm going to be doing once my harvest comes. So once I've started to get fruit and things from it, or vegetables, whatever, I have to have something to do with this food, and you can't just put it away. So anyway, from what I understand, zucchini and squash still have enzymes in them, and what the enzymes do is allow the fruit to still, or the vegetable to still keep, I don't know why I keep saying fruit, but allow the vegetable to keep ripening. So if I just took these and put them in the freezer, they're still going to keep ripening, which means that they're still going to turn brown, and they're still going to taste the same, but they're not going to look as appealing. So what I do is I blanch them like you see me do in the hot water for 2 minutes, and then I cool them down in an ice bath to stop the cooking process. And now what I'm doing is I'm just laying them out on some parchment paper. You can use wax paper, but I'm just laying them out on this parchment paper right here. And then what I'm going to do is stick this in the freezer just like this. And I have a deep freezer that I'm just going to lay these on top of. And I'm going to stick these in the deep freezer and let them freeze for about 30 minutes. And then you can take them out and stick them in a bag. So you can either put them in the bag with the wax paper or the parchment paper on there, or you can just stick them in the bag. So, and make sure you put what it is and a date on it. So that's why I am doing this, because I have some more of this, and then I just did what's called succession planting. So I just planted more squash, more zucchini. I also have some okra out there, because this is going to be great for when I do my gumbo and stuff like that in the fall and winter season. You know, just to help save or savor and save your vegetables from anything funky going on. So, but this is going to look better than if I put this in a pot of stew. It'll look better like this than it would if it was all brown. Like I said, it's going to taste the same, but it's just going to look a little funky, and we don't want that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this into the freezer so that I can get these frozen. I'm going to write the name and everything on it on this plastic bag. So I do have a plastic freezer bag. You do want to make sure you get all of the air out of this when you go to put this in the freezer bag. So we'll be doing that. And before I go, if you haven't tried this zucchini fresh, especially straight from your garden, when I tell you I had the best squash ever, this was so good. I almost cried, y'all. I'm true story. I almost cried. It was so good. So I took this squash, I cut it up, I put some salt on top of it, I added some red onions, and then I added some tomatoes with it. I think it was, yeah, tomatoes. And I let it sit for about 10-15 minutes. And I cooked it in this lemon olive oil with a little bit of butter. And then I drizzled it with this right here. So I let it marinate in this for about 10-20 minutes. And then I just let it cook. And I had it with some spaghetti. And oh my gosh, guys, it was amazing. So make sure wherever you get out of your garden, try it fresh first before you have to do any canning or freezing, because my next step I'm going to be doing is think I'm going to, my tomatoes are almost ready, so I'm going to be making some tomato sauce, and I'm going to be canning for the first time, I think. Like I said, I do my research, I do my homework, y'all. So I'm excuse me, my throat got really, really dry. So anyway, I'm going to be doing my canning, and I think I know what I'm doing. I'm going to watch a couple more videos before I get into that process, because I still got some time before my tomatoes are ripe. But I think I'm going to be doing some canning and some pickling too, because I do have some pickling cucumbers out there as well. But again, I did plant some squash, some zucchini, and right now the reason why you see all the squash is because I only have one female zucchini plant, and I did go ahead and give that to my neighbor when it grew, because I did, you know, tell them that I will be giving them some squash and zucchini. I gave them tomatoes and a one of the not ghost peppers. Oh my God, ghost peppers are so hot. Gypsy peppers. So one of the gypsy peppers that I grew, I went ahead and gave that to them, because like I said, I got more coming, so that's no problem. I also shared a what is it? What was it? I also shared one of these squash with my neighbor who walks her dog out here, and we've gotten to talking and knowing each other, and I gave her a squash, and she fried hers in cornmeal. Now, I know that you usually fry okra in cornmeal, but she fried hers in some cornmeal, and she said it was the best zucchini that she has ever had. So she was like, you definitely got a green thumb. So whatever I'm doing something right, but I can't take all the credit, because I know that, you know, the earth is providing certain things to me too that they wasn't providing in the years before, because the years before my garden was a hot mess. I couldn't grow nothing. I think I had a couple of tomatoes last year, and that was it. But let me go ahead and get this in the freezer, and then I will show you guys a little something in just a minute. Okay, so I am going to be blanching my squash, my zucchini. I have some not green peppers. I can do my green peppers like this. I have some green beans that I just rinsed them off and I froze them, but I am going to do the same process to this. I just want to do it in bigger batches, so I'm waiting for some more to grow. But I'm just labeling what I have and the date. So I just did it like that. I can't find my black magic marker, but I can see that very clearly. I hope you guys can see that too. But I can see that very clearly. So let me show you guys what I told you I was going to show you. So these are my tomatoes. I have a pepper here, as well as a eggplant. Now I did tear the eggplant plant out, and I'm going to be planting something else there. I'll probably do Brussels sprouts, but these are my tomatoes, and I had my very first tomato the day before yesterday. So I made a tomato sandwich. Just toasted some bread, some mayonnaise, threw a couple of slices of tomato on there, a little salt, a little pepper, and oh, that thing was good. Oh, that thing was good. But yeah, so I'm just letting them ripen, and the reason why I'm taking them off while they're still green and letting them ripen is because it's been so hot outside that they're kind of splitting. So let me see if I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with this because no bugs or insects has gotten inside of it, but it's splitting because of the heat. So you just cut that top part off and just keep on, you know, use the rest of the tomato. But I don't want them to split so bad to where I can't use them. So I have been taking them and kind of cutting them off right when I see they start to turn red. So Yeah, so that's what I've been doing with that. All right, guys, let's get back to what we were doing. All right, guys, so it's been about 30-40 minutes, and I let my squash get somewhat frozen. It's not completely frozen, but I did skip this step right here, but I want you to make sure that you do this. Now, you can do it before or after, but you want to take your squash and just pat it dry with a paper towel, because we all know that squash and zucchini, as well as other vegetables, do hold a good amount of water. So we just want to make sure that they're nice and dry. That way they're not sticking to each other when you go and put them in the bag. And like I said, I'm going to be putting mine in the bag without the parchment paper. So if you do it that way, you do want to make sure that you don't skip this step. Alright, so I already put the first layer in there. I've already dried it with the paper towel. And now I'm just going to be sticking them into the bag. And it's cooling off outside a little bit, so I'm going to go outside. And, well, actually I'm going to take a look at all the seeds that I have and see if I have anything that can be harvested within the next 60 days, so I can go ahead and get that planted into the ground. Alright, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope it was really, really informative, or at least useful to you. So if you decide to do this method, you have some tips on what to do. So I'm just going to be squeezing the air out of this bag and zip-locking it and putting it in the freezer. And again, like I said, this is great for soups and stews. It's almost like buying the zucchini that you would normally buy in the store frozen. So this is going to be a whole lot fresher. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Leave me a comment. Hit that like button. And I will talk to you guys in another video. Alright, see you then. Bye-bye.